Bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
Hi guys, well, take two I guess, since computer decided to stuff itself. This is the Aight guide. Let's have a quick look. Basically, Aight, he is a DPS carry. He has self-buffing capabilities and also some minor team buffing capabilities as well. His first incantation, Glory, it's a mass attack dealing an okay amount of reality damage to 2 enemies. From level 2 and level 3, he will give himself 1 and 2 Moxie respectively. This is a great utility for himself that helps him to cycle to his ultimate very quickly. His second incantation, Justice, is a single target attack dealing a higher amount of reality damage, and from level 1 he will grant himself plus 1 Moxie, 2 and 3 Moxie if this attack defeats the target of it. Again, he's giving himself more Moxie. So you're gonna kind of see that Aight is a character that really likes to finish off the enemies, which means he's great for dual comps. We'll see more of that later. His ultimate, after AD 778, it's a mass attack. It will attack all enemies, and it does a good amount of reality damage to all of them. If any of the targets are defeated, all allies will gain 1 stack of Rousing Morale. Rousing Morale is a damage bonus plus 50% when attacking, which is just for their next attack. This is a great team utility. Basically gives you a free 50% damage, so it's always nice to have some decent damage dealers with him. His insights. Insight 1, for every HP percentage lost by the target, damage dealt plus 10%, which is excellent. Insight 2, damage taken minus 8%. It's pretty run-of-the-mill for Insight 2s. And Insight 3, for every HP percentage lost, penetration rate plus 10%. So his Insight 1 and his Insight 3, super recommended to get him to Insight 3, by the way. Yeah, but Insight 1, Insight 3, they just buff his damage and penetration rate, which means you don't necessarily need a character that's going to buff and support him. If you do have them, make sure that they do more damage, like Shamane or Bicorn Bloom. If they're just a passive type of buffer, it's going to be less overall results for the team because he already buffs himself enough. So let's have a look at his portraits. Luckily enough, I've managed to get him to P2, which you would have seen if you would have saw the footage that was lost in the great fire of my old laptop. But let's see what his portraits do. Portrait 1 and 3 buff his ultimate. Portrait 2 and 4 buff each of his incantations by a small percentage. And his Portrait 5 is quite amazing. It gives him 1 additional stack of Rousing Morale, meaning that after he defeats an enemy with his ultimate, he will be able to grant all of his allies, including himself, 2 attacks of 50% plus damage dealt, which is amazing. Let's look at his side tubes. Aight's best side tube as of the moment is Balance Please. Balance Please became available in the current 1.4 shop update. It's here to do what it says. Balance Please, because spirit and intelligent characters rarely get an Afflatus advantage, so this is kind of to balance out that. It will grant an ultimate might bonus, and then when the carry attacks, if they do not have the Afflatus advantage, damage dealt plus 1%, and if the carrier is spirit or intelligent, this is doubled. As you can see, this is made for Aight. It's made for, well, also 6, but it's an excellent addition to the game. If you have not gotten Balance Please yet, that's totally okay. You could work with Hopscotch, which grants Incantation Might, and for every enemy defeated by the carrier, Ultimate Might will stack. So this synchronizes really well with Aight, as you want to defeat enemies with your incantations and you want to then buff your ultimate. It's just doubling the buffing. If you want to run Aight as some type of quasi-sustain, which would not really recommend, but her second life is okay for that. And if we don't have any of those, you will get Brave New World for free, and that's an okay option as well. But like I say, please try to save up for balance, please, if you are especially an Aight stan. Okay, let's look at some teams. So our first team is probably my favorite Aight team. It's pairing Aight with two dual role characters. Of course, Shimane being a great buffer, but also someone that does great amounts of damage, and Decay, who does a good amount of healing and a good amount of damage. I feel like these kind of like all generalistic teams are really great for Aight, and you're going to see as well throughout this video that you can slot him in as a neutral element, because I always feel like Spirit and Intelligence are neutral elements with any other like mono type of team. So here it's the Spirit with Beast characters. Why this team works really well is that Shimane is kind of a one turn on, one turn off type of character, and it kind of works really well with Aight because you want to store Ainight's incantations, especially I think Glory, so that it's level 2, so he's generating Moxie. Similarly so, you want to do that with Shimane so that he's generating his stacks to get his ultimate back quickly. And if you can time it really well, it's ultimate game over. And you just saw it happen. Aight still carries, but the team works really well together. Our next team is kind of like a plant team. Again, like I said earlier, you do need extra damage, so Bicorn Bloom is here where Ainight's ultimate will buff her damage even more, which is great. And she also offers something that Aight can't buff himself, which is defense down. You could also use Tenant if you would like as a defense down type of character, but as long as it's reality damage, reality defense down, you're good to go. La Source is here because I finally leveled up my La Source, and I'm going to start using her. If you have Sotheby, whether she's P5 or not, you could use her. You could use any healer in this. This is basically just saying that Aight and Bicorn Bloom are a really good duo to have, and then slot in any healer and you're good to go, basically. Ironically, this was Bicorn Bloom and Aight plus I think X, because I had no idea how this game worked when it first started. That was my go-to team, and it got me through, I think, the first 3 chapters of this game. So if you're not running Bicorn Bloom with Aight, definitely check it out. It works really well. And yeah. Again, La Source, go girl. You did that healing, and 7,000 damage, which is surprising. Next up, you know I love Bet, and I'm going to use her as much as I can. Bet with Necrologist as a kind of mineral team, but also as kind of a spooky duo of Aight and Necrologist. Necrologist will keep Bet alive in case she crushes a 3-star, kind of is easy to pick off, but she'll also buff Ainight's damage, and because Necrologist cannot actually heal herself, Bet can help with Necrologist's survivability by buffing her like mental defense and reality defense as well. Bet is an amazing character to pair with Aight because her ultimate that you just saw allows Aight to gain extra levels to his incantations. She's the only character that can do it in the game, and I feel like this team's quite a lot of fun. All these videos, by the way, are filmed in Limbo, the current Limbo 3. So this team can survive Limbo 3. I've put it into Limbo 4 and it's okay. Limbo 5, a little bit harder. Limbo 6, let's not take a 3-star there. But if you want generalistic 90% of this game content, please try out this team. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, go to 3 stars. I really want to do something with John Titor as well. And done. Well done. Bet does decent. That's very, kind of me to say. This is a mono spirit team. This is, again, like I said, this is going to work up for most of the content, but it's not going to go through Limbo 6 just because of survivability issues. But Click is a character that wants 1 turn on, 1 turn off, so he can buff his land cap status and buff his own damage and survivability, and also Click's ultimate can survive, help the team with their survivability as well. Poltergeist is here because, yes, her defense down can help only Click, but her ultimate can taunt and take away some of the damage. Basically, it's like Aight and his spirit sisters, like, they just work really well together. taunting, damage reduction from click, and then damage, like, increasement? That's not a word. What happening to my English? Damaging... Oh my god. I'm keeping it in. Damage buffing from Aight, and also a shit ton of damage from him as well. They've noticed me and didn't stare. I enjoyed this. Her English voice is adorable, even though she did fairly little in that battle, but she's still great. I call this the Aight Premium team. It's Aight with Pickles and brain dead playing game Tooth Fairy. Like, you can just put her in any team and it's amazing, honestly. But Pickles works well again. It's a one turn on, one turn off type of character. He buffs Aight whenever there's no buffing from himself, because it's only like one attack that he'll get from his ultimate. Pickles will be 2 or 3 turns if you're lucky, and Aight will buff Pickles. Again, a dual DPS type of team, works really well. And yeah, Tooth Fairy, if you don't have her, you could use any other type of healer. I have tried as well as like a dual DPS. I've tried using Regulus. She works okay with Aight, but I tend to find like Regulus really wants to crit, and Aight doesn't really have a lot of crit, like he can crit if you get like higher resonance, like resonance 10. It's better for him, but you don't really need to build a whole team around that. And I tend to find like a crit team is a crit team, and he doesn't need a crit team. He needs like a damage and dual DPS type of teamwork team. That's such an awful way of describing it. This last team that I'm going to be showing is Queen Miss Newbabble with Darly Clatter. We love Darly Clatter. Please, tell me that you also are enjoying Darly Clatter. But this team works because Miss Newbabble does like good sustain for the team. She keeps Darly Clatter, who's very fragile as a 3-star. She keeps him alive, and also she counters and Aight, of course, damage and generalistic slotting in here. But also Darly Clatter, he buffs the whole team and also heals a decent amount. I find like Darly Clatter and Miss Newbabble are quite a good duo, and again, that's a great duo. And if you need a third character, you can slot in Aight, and he's going to push that team to the next level, which you can see here. 16, 18, 17, thanks to Darly. The only downside to this is that Miss Newbabble can't really take great advantage of Ainight's buff from his ultimate, because it's only one stack of it, so it's only one of her attacks, which isn't that amazing. But what she really adds here is a little bit of extra damage with her counters and great sustainability that keeps Darly Clatter running. So if you don't have Pickles, but you do have Miss Newbabble, and you will have Darly Clatter because he's a 3-star, you could try out this team, and it's surprisingly powerful. So as I mentioned, by the way, just for anyone that stuck around until the end, there was like a bonus thing that I did at the end of the fire of my old laptop that the footage is lost. But basically, I did some summons, and you're going to see how lucky they were. I did 40. I got an Aight, then a Voyager, then an Anan Lee, another Anan Lee, and another Voyager, all on the limited banner. Look, I'm not... I don't recommend that you do that. Look, I've got one. I'm going to do one right now. Oh, fuck me. It's a 5-star. Of course it is. You know what? I'm not going to complain. We're always happy about a 5-star, especially when it's click. I think this is click telling you to go watch my click guide that I just put up. But anyway, I mean, for people that might doubt it, that actually happened, and I'm sorry you guys won't see the footage, and I'm sorry I couldn't upload it because I was so excited about that. Okay, so my overall thoughts on Aight is he's a great, very flexible, quite strong DPS character. You can slot him into any team, and as you can see by the teams that I showcased, there's a lot of opportunities for him to really shine and a lot of places for him to work with some of your favorite characters. Because again, like I like to say, you don't have to play meta for this game. You just have to have fun and play who you like. And I really like Aight, and I hope that you've enjoyed this guide. Let me know what I should do next, and I'll keep working on the audio and technical issues. Isn't that fun? Anyway, thank you for your kindness and your support. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.